Alright people, as most of you already know, I got a moray eel and she is absolutely beautiful. Like, I genuinely love her. She is doing completely fine. She is still a bit nervous. But yeah, today I want to talk about making this fish tank safe for my eel. Because you see, the thing is, eels can escape very easily. They're quite good at it. And literally the first thing my eel done as soon as it came into the tank is it tried to go into the output of my canister filter. As you can see, I put a net over that. I'll explain that in a second how I've done that. And I've done a few other things as well. So if you have an eel or any other fish that are known to be escape artists, you probably want to do some of these things. But yeah, before we start, remember to uppercut the like button. It really helps me out, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Alright, so I've already mentioned the output, so I guess we might as well start with that. As you can see, I put a little green net over it and I secured it with rubber bands. It's one of those fruit bags, isn't it? And I cut out a little square, put it over the output, and then put rubber band around it, and so far it's been working perfectly fine and she hasn't tried to go in there again, so that works great. Now the other thing you need to do is make sure that all the little gaps in your fish tank are completely sealed. Now I've got an external filter, which means I've got these two pipes that stick out at the back, and I've had to cut a hole in the lid which left a few little gaps, and the thing is the eel could escape from there, so I had to block them off. But luckily there's a very simple way you can do that by using one of these people. It's a simple replacement sponge for a filter. I don't even know which filter it is, I just bought a random one, and I cut them into small pieces and I put them in between the gaps that are still left over from the hole on the fish tank lid. I've also got these two which I put into these little gaps here. Okay, I was just gonna move past it and not address it, but if you have a Fluval Roma, I'm sure you're wondering, why do I have these holes in the front? Yeah people, quick story time. So when I set this tank up initially, I have to say I was very tired and I wasn't thinking straight, and I thought that these holes were here so you can lift this lid up properly, but yeah, that wasn't the case at all people. These holes are actually for the cables, and yeah, I didn't realize until it was too late. I've already planted everything in the tank, and yeah, the only way I could have, you know, switched it around again is if I take everything out, twist the tank, and then put everything back in, which is a lot of effort, but I will do this eventually one day because I have to. So subscribe if you want to see that video. But yeah, anyway, back to the topic. So I've got these cable holes right here and here, and even though they are at the front, they would have been there anyway at the back, and you will need to cover them. So I got these two little things and I just simply put them into the gaps like this. You just open it, close it, make sure that it can't get out. Do the same thing on the other side like that, and it doesn't look pretty. That you can see how it sticks out right there, but of course for me personally, that's just until I've actually had the time to take everything out and twist this back round. But for most people, you shouldn't have any gaps at the front if you have a Fluval Roma 200. If you have an open lid, then yeah, you shouldn't really have an eel. You might want to look into getting a lid for that fish tank. But yeah, if you do have a lid, there shouldn't be any openings unless if you have a feeding hole, which I guess you're going to want to do the same thing, or you can just tape a net over the hole like I've done with the output. Now these two pieces are actually for the little gaps at the back. Let me put them in quick. But yeah people, if you sealed off every single gap that there is, then your fish tank should pretty much be eel safe. Of course you want to check out things like what kind of tank baits you can have with your specific eels. If you want to know what you can do with a Tiger Moray Eel, you can check out my species spotlight on that, and if I do get any other eels in the future, I might do a spotlight on them as well. So remember to subscribe people. Oh yeah, before I forget to mention, you definitely also want to get a cave for your eel. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cave. It can be something like these roots as well, where it's something they can hide underneath and get away from the light. Because the thing is, if they're not comfortable at all in the fish tank because they can't hide anywhere, then they will try to escape. And yeah, at the end of the day people, you never know what can happen. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you check out one of these two next.